So, welcome to the next in our Sats in the City productions of little quickie views on doing cartooning. What I've set up here are a few layers. You'll notice there's a line art layer, that's the black and white, a color layer, and what I'm calling an adjustment layer. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today is layers and how they can have different settings that might make your life easy. So let's quickly draw a cartoon with no big worries about what it is because it's meant just to illustrate something. So there we go. Not going to send that to New Yorker, I don't think. Now, above the line art layer that I just drew this on is the color layer. And if I start drawing in color to color the guy in, you'll notice there's a problem in that I'm covering him over. And so you might say, oh my gosh, this layer should have been below. Why did you put it above? This was dumb. We've got to change the layer order. Now, I could change the layer order. Watch, I'm going to move this layer above. Haha, we see him. But let's put it back where it was and ask, is there something else we could have done to this color layer to make it not matter? Well, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here to where it says it's normal, and instead I'm going to make it multiply. Oh! What's happening here? Basically, it's taking the color layer, and then it's multiplying those colors with whatever's below it. So if it's multiplying it with white, basically that says you just get the original color. If it multiplies it with black, that's a pretty big multiplier, black, you end up with black. And since black is the line art, you essentially have the drawing the way you would like it. Now you'll notice if I switch these layers, no change. So the line art on top and a color layer below, which is multiplying the white paper beneath, exact same as the color layer above the line art, but it's multiplying. So that's interesting fact number one that you may not be aware of, and if you weren't, now you are. But here's another interesting thing you can do. We were talking previously about doing some cuts to get some shadowing or even highlights on the color you're working with. How do you do that? Purely by using what's called an adjustment layer right there and not affecting the color directly at all. Well, here's how we'll do it. I'll pick a brush which has a little bit of watercolory kind of an effect. It's actually called a lighter ink, India ink, but it looks kind of watercolory. And I'm going to change this adjustment layer from normal to something, again, which you may not have used in the past. It's called overlay. Overlay looks at the color beneath it, and it purely interprets how much white, gray, black it is you're painting with. And if it's towards the darker range right here, black, it darkens what it sees. Just the color, though, it darkens the color itself. Towards white, it lightens it. If it was neutral, what's called a 50% gray, it does nothing at all. It doesn't lighten it, it doesn't darken it. So that's by eye here, looks kind of neutral. So watch as I draw with it. I'm on this adjustment layer, I am drawing, and you notice not much is happening. In fact, nothing's happening. If I draw over here, again, I see nothing happening because I'm not actually drawing color per se. I'm drawing adjustments. Now, let's make this darker, and I'll draw. Notice that I'm now getting a more saturated version of the color itself. Isn't that neat? I can turn it off by just closing the visibility of that layer, and it goes away. So I haven't changed my base layer. That's still there. It's not damaged. So let's go back to the adjustment layer here and let's add some white, see if I can add some highlights. Oh, look at that, I can. So it's lightening. So I could do a nice three-dimensional kind of a visualization here of what's going on if I wanted to. And if I wanted to make it even darker towards the edges here, I can do that. But you'll notice I'm not adding a shadow, I'm just accentuating the degree of color. Badoom. So a nice tool for playing around and when you're done and you're happy with it, you can merge these layers together. So I could turn these off and I could go to the color layer. Now you can see the gray, by the way, that we previously didn't see because the white was on. And I'll take these layers and I'll combine them. And now what we have left, I've got all of that art change that I did. I also can't see the line art below anymore because I combined it and I got rid of the, multiply. So I can go back here to the normal mode and say multiply please, and bang, there I am. Or again, if you want, move the line art above it, same thing. And that's it.